I was competing in the Hong Kong Open in early December, and I was in the finals, competing in the finals versus Hanya El Hamami. And 5-all in the first game, I hit a deep ball into the back left, and she dropped it into the front left. So she hit a straight drop, and I was on the tee, and I basically did a usual split step that I do all the time and pushed my right foot back to push off and popped my Achilles. So, and that's exactly what I did when I tore my left one 7 years ago, and except the opposite side. So yeah, exact same movement, just mirrored on the other side. So I knew it right away. It's been very different in my approach. Also, I think it helps the fact that like I know what I'm in for this time around, whereas when I first did it, I didn't know anything. Like I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just following the guidance of like the PT, and if you're not in the right guidance or you're not in the right care, like you're really going to suffer. And that's unfortunately like what happened with my left. So I wasn't in the right guidance for many months, like with my left, until I went down to Philly like about 6 months in, and we started working with Joe Zaret, who like I'm working with now from the start. But I learned so much the first time around of kind of like what I can do better. I can do like, it's not about the 3 days a week you're in PT. It's about like, what do you do like the rest of the time when you're not at PT? So it's just kind of that mindset also too. Like, just because I'm out playing doesn't mean like, I'm not going to take care of myself. Like taking care of my like health and well-being and mental health, like that's going to help with my overall recovery and just happiness and everything. I'm not like coping with just like what I did in the past of like going out and like food and alcohol and all that stuff, which is like easy coping mechanisms, kind of just like not address anything. Whereas now, like I'm a lot more mindful about like how I'm taking care of myself and making sure that, I'm trying to be as like healthy in like my mind, body, and spirit in this whole process, and know that like even if I am, even with the PT that I'm doing, that's the recovery is not all about PT. It's about like, making sure that your mind's in the right place, like the rest of your body too. Like that's going to help with the recovery process. I was like, there's something positive's going to come out of here. And I just kind of looked at all the positives with it, like, and sort of just like looked at my life outside of squash, and I was like, well, what's missing here? Like what have I kind of been putting on hold for the last, I don't know, like 5 years or 4 years, since pretty much like COVID, when the last time I had an extended period of time out. And then since then, it's just been like squash. Like, I'm working like traveling 1,000,000 miles per hour. Like my life is just moving at 1,000,000 miles per hour, like going so fast. And all the time I was like, I can't deal with this. I have to go to another tournament. I can't deal with this. I have to go train. And now I'm like, I have time to actually like chill out, to sit, to enjoy my life outside of squash, to actually address my life outside of squash that has been on hold for like 4 years. And I was like, wow, this is really nice. Like I'm going to go be Amanda Sobhy, the non-professional squash player, and just go enjoy my life. You have to look out for the players, because we're the product. Like without us, the tour is not going to be happening. And I know that once I get back on tour, like obviously that's going to generate a lot of like eyeballs, people tuning in, like SQUASHTV. So it's like I'm almost like being able to get like monetized off of they're able to monetize off of my like injury and comeback and everything, and like sharing my story and all of that. And I'm happy to do that, to inspire and everything. But like, I just lost 75% of my income, with the tournaments that I can't play. There needs something to be done for those players who are out injured, like some support, more like financial support, I think, to be able to allow these players to have that peace and ability to take the time off, to rehab, to get healthy with their injuries, and then come back on tour and be okay. Because also too, like you see and I've talked to players about this, like they'll have little niggles like here and there, little injuries that require, maybe like a couple months off tour, but they're paranoid. They're not paranoid, but they're so anxious. They're scared to take that time off because they're like, well, I don't want my ranking to drop. I don't want I'm going to lose all this money, like everything. I can't afford to take the time off. So what are they going to do? They're going to put their injured bodies to play those tournaments over and over again and just keep getting injured, never get healthy again. And then at the end of the day, we only get one body. Fortunately for this experience, my mental health has been pretty good. Honestly, it's been fantastic, but that's just because, I've been down this road before. I know what to expect. I also think I've been through enough mental health experiences where I've been on the downside of it. So I kind of know myself, what happens if I do let myself go into that slippery slope. And it's a very slippery slope, honestly. So to be honest, I don't really let myself go there. I don't even kind of when I see myself going a little bit down that road, I'm I know I don't feel great, my mental health declines, everything. And I was what do I need to do in order to help my mental health? And a lot of it's making sure that I'm taking care of myself, the basics: sleep, nutrition, hydration, sunlight, getting outside. I love being a mental health and wellness ambassador. I think it's fantastic the fact that us players can speak about it openly. And I think it's really beautiful the fact that we're top professional athletes and we're able to show our vulnerabilities and kind of expose ourselves a little bit that hey, we're not like these superhuman people. We are humans who go through the same stuff as everybody else, and just this is how we deal with it to help overcome it. But yeah, we have anxiety, we have depression, we struggle with food in our body, everything. And I think sharing that, not only does it really help those players on tour who are just starting out or are younger, the next generation of players, but also just the regular community and population. I think, showing our human side and showing who we are kind of a little bit outside of the professional athlete really allows people to connect with us.